This is one of Nigeria's largest hypermarkets and consumer retail chains, with footprint across 5 cities and a total workforce of 3,000 nationwide. This operation is owned and run as one of a few others by an Indian diasporan family. And for its founder, Harish Kaswani, there couldn't have been a better business decision.
Having dealt with Nigerians, worked with Nigerians, I think this is the best country on the earth. And the people are friendly. All they want and from you is respect. Give them that respect, share some knowledge, invest in them, and they are going to be your best friends, and they are always going to be supportive. I came to Nigeria in '79. And why Nigeria? Honestly, I got a job here. Did I know exactly what Nigeria is going to be? I had no clue. But when I reached Nigeria, I think I must first give credit to my boss. I had a Yoruba boss, and he was a wonderful man. And he treated me like a son, taught me how about Nigeria, showed me the works, gave me the freedom to perform, and I believe I did very well.
Having identified some market gaps in manufacturing and retail, Harish's group started to lay the foundation for what would become a diversified business portfolio in the Nigerian market today.
What I realized that Nigeria needs constantly to evolve with innovation, and anything which is innovative, I was interested in investing. Whether it is setting up shopping malls, whether it was setting up modern retail, whether it was setting up factories in furniture. So we always said, how can we make a difference? And Aarti had that simple philosophy: do we lead or do we follow? We chose to lead.
The Indian diaspora in Nigeria is estimated to be made up of at least 50,000 individuals, a community that includes both Indian nationals and persons of Indian origin, forming the largest Indian expatriate community in West Africa. With over 135 Indian companies operating in Nigeria, this is a diaspora that has found its business pulse. But their contribution also spans further out than just these sectors.
They say when you drink the Lagos water, you're not going anywhere, you will always come back, and that spoke true for us.
Hamisha Dariani Ahuja is a third-generation Indian film producer who has lived in Nigeria since the age of 2.
But my grandparents used to live in Kano. My dad has business here, and so I wasn't born here, but I'd say my childhood's here. This is home. Actually, this is more home than India is.
A former restaurateur and self-development tutor turned filmmaker, Hamisha highlights the commonalities between both countries and the decision to contribute to Nigeria's creative industry.
Then how the day you come for now, you pack all this bag. You don't want to go again.
How are you going to pack it then? Put one in front then.
When I was setting up my restaurant at that point, we didn't have what is available now in terms of supply chains, in terms of the stores that actually supply you. We had to sort of look around and sort of innovate in how we ran this restaurant. So I would imagine India was the same those many years ago. I just think we're all on different trajectories in terms of time frame, but we're all going through the same challenges, just in different timelines. While I was running Bistro 7, I'd have these workshops out of the conference room at the restaurant. And M.I. Abaga, he's a famous rap artist here, was actually one of my attendees at my workshop. And I actually just told him my idea. I'm like, Nigeria's grown up on Bollywood. There's so much Z. Everywhere I go, you see ZTV, you see Sony, you see all these typical Indian shows. How come no one's ever tried to bring the two together, given that Bollywood's such a big impact? And I think Nollywood has so much potential. This was, again, years ago. And he's like, so why didn't you do it? And I'm like, I really do want to. And in that, I was also setting up my restaurant for sale. So Chocolate City actually bought Bistro 7. And I was a shareholder, which means I was able to then move away from the business. It's actually something I wanted to do. And as soon as I sold, literally, I jumped into the film industry. It was a team with a lot of new blood, a team with a lot of passion. And I think all of us had a point to prove. And it's so interesting how, when I look back, that point that we wanted to prove, we proved. Because it was Nigerians coming together, it was Indians coming together. I had a multicultural crew. I had an Indian actor who'd never been to Lagos, who was used to his vanity vans. And I had my Nigerian actress who'd never acted with an Indian. I had language barriers, I had culture barriers, I had so much going on. And in that, this beauty came. And I think it was that zeal and that passion that really started this. And so I'd say it's divine intervention or the universe, but it was also momentum and movement towards a bigger picture of something that just had to happen for the world.
From deliberate moves to inadvertent ones, Priya Amanani is Chief of Staff at a Lagos-based tech company. I am simply interested in her day-to-day experiences as an Indian expat living in Nigeria.
I got married. That's how I landed in Nigeria. My husband is a third-generation Indian in Nigeria. And I'm born in India, but I was brought up in Belize. And 11 years ago, I came to Nigeria. Whether it's good morning, afternoon, or happy new month or new week, right? The smallest of joys that we celebrate here every day and how we greet each other, for me, is the warmest experience. Everybody knows Nigeria is the place that is showing a lot of growth potential. We are one of the countries with the largest youth population. And that just tells you that there's so many opportunities to unlock. From a professional standpoint, I think I find home here. I have a huge amount of family and friends. And like I said, for me, it's a really personally warm experience to be here. So yeah, I do see myself being here for a very long time.
A number of the opportunities that Priya speaks of are also created by Indian diasporans such as Dipankar Rustagi, who runs a B2B tech platform, digitizing traditional retail out of Lagos. For Dipankar, the reasons for starting this venture were undebatable.
Professionally, the size of the opportunity that Nigeria offers is phenomenal. The energy of the people, the entrepreneurship level of the people is phenomenal. So I feel that energy level and the size of the opportunity combined together was pulling me to come back to Nigeria. Omni Retail is my second venture. My first venture was called WeConnect. Both the ventures are around small and medium scale businesses. The idea is, even though we have great businesses like the oil companies, the banking industry, the telecom companies who are creating a lot of commercial value, the real displacement, the real difference will be made when small and medium scale businesses can add value. So I believe building that engine, which can accelerate the value creation from small businesses, would be amazing. That's why my first business was around enabling small businesses to go live online. And the second business, Omni Retail, is targeting one of the largest industries, which is FMCG goods, fast-moving consumer goods, which employs approximately 25% of the workforce in the country. So we enable the traditional trade with tools that help them be more productive. We have a direct job creation of 1,000 team members and an indirect job creation of approximately 30 to 40,000 people. What this indirect is, the stores who have gained value, who have grown their revenue, can now afford to start another branch and employ a shop boy or a shop girl in those stores.
But it isn't all just smooth sailing, and adapting to some unique challenges is also a part of the winning formula.
Take, for example, the industry that we work in, FMCG. Supply chain requires you to have better roads, require you to have electricity, requires you to have connectivity, which is telecom connectivity, requires you to have mobility of people, transportation services, because we're talking about thousands of people getting employed and moving from one market, one store to another. These are infrastructure challenges which make it slightly more difficult. If you play according to the rules of any international game and you try to implement it in Nigeria, those rules don't apply as is. You need to customize those rules based on the infrastructure, based on the local nuances of the geography.
Now, let's be honest, where we don't have challenges. The challenges are different here. Understand the Nigerians first, understand the market. There is a way you can make things happen here. Nigerians need investments. What is to be focused on is trust. Nigerians are trustworthy, I know that, and I can vouch for that. However, the trust has to be mutual. And I think that's the relationship which Nigeria and India has built over the years. There's a lot of trust within the two countries. And thus you can see so many Indian companies have successfully existed in Nigeria for many, many decades. And that you see it's working here very well. Something they're doing is right. I'm proud to tell you this, that I have got staff who still work with us for over 25 years. They're Nigerians. What is keeping them here? Is it helplessness? No, they are performing well. We are taking care of them.
India has the world's largest diaspora, with 34.4 million non-resident Indians and persons of Indian origin residing abroad. Both economic opportunities and perception have played a role in their migration decisions.
With constraint comes creativity. I feel like we still have generator issues here. India has overcome that. We had generator issues in India. You need a generator wherever you go. NEPA is an issue. I still do Zoom calls where my NEPA will go and we do changeover, and the person on the other side is like, wait, why is the lights gone out, right? If we're able to do that, we're able to make a movie through that sort of fluctuation. We can do anything. From my contribution, when I made Namaste Wahala and then subsequently Postcards, which is also on Netflix, I married two cultures together. So in my opinion, that actually increased the audience, because when you saw that poster of an Indian man and a Nigerian woman, that was all the diaspora from the world from a global perspective, but Africa and also India, because it was the first Nollywood movie to break the top 10 in India, to break the top 10 in the States, and to break the top 10 in the UK. So, and that was back then, that was 5 years ago. Government and entertainment are the mass way to influence the mass audience. So what you see on TV is a lot of times what you perceive of the place, especially for people who have not come to Nigeria. You know, I put my Nigeria out there, which is the really nice restaurants, which is we have this beautiful beach, we have cosmopolitan city life, we have business, we are thriving. I feel like sometimes African content put out there is maybe the dark side or things that are bad, but come to India, you'll see the same thing, right? But it depends what you decide and choose to put out there. And I think that that is very important in terms of a contribution to a cultural economy, a creative economy, is it would invite more investors, because you see it and you'd be like, wow, that's just like us.